Everybody, welcome to another Kingland Systems Cyclone Game Center. Today we're going to go back to the 2000 Insight.com Bowl in Phoenix, and this was Iowa State's first bowl appearance in 22 years, and we are really honored today to be joined by three great members of that Cyclone team. We have All-American center Ben Bruns. Hey, Brunsy, how are you?
Hey, John. Good to be here, man.
Awesome to have you here. We also have joining us from Omaha, Sage Rosenfels, quarterback on this team.
John,
hi, Sage.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, and can't wait to watch this thing with these old teammates.
I know
you're being the operative word.
That word's going to get used a lot, trust me. All right. And we also have Reggie Hayward joining us from Jacksonville. Hey, Reg, how are you, man?
I'm doing wonderful. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, appreciate you doing this. Yeah. And this was a great setting, an unbelievable game, but having you guys here makes it extra special. But I'm thinking it'd be a heck of a lot more special if we had Dan McCarney with us. So let's bring in Mac.
No.
Come on, man. We got to bring in Mac, don't we? There he is.
How about them Cyclones?
Yeah.
Listen, if you thought I was going to talk a lot before, now the rest of us aren't going to say anything. I can't wait.
Shut up. I just want to listen to you guys. I want to listen to you. How you doing, guys?
Doing wonderful.
Good, Coach. Good to see you.
Likewise. Good, Coach.
I remember this. There's a lot of things you remember, but I remember telling you guys before we played that game 20 years ago now, the outcome of this game, I know we're not talking about, don't worry about the pressure. Just understand that we got an opportunity here. But we get through playing this game, you got a chance to be long remembered or easily forgotten. And I figured this out through 45 years of Division I football. The teams that just come up a little bit short and they're just not that special, no matter what you think, they're easily forgotten. The teams that do things that have never been done before and were part of history and were led by you guys in the senior class, you're long remembered. Here it is 20 years later, and God bless it. It's sure fun to remember what we did and what we accomplished 20 years ago, isn't it?
Goosebumps, man. Goosebumps. Coach, good stuff.
Great to see you guys.
Let's roll the video, man. Let's enjoy this ball game. It's Bank One Ballpark. There's about I'd say close to 30,000 Cyclone fans there. Don't you guys think? It was unbelievable the night before with the pep rally.
I mean, it was something special. It was like nothing we've ever experienced before. So walking into that as young men, we didn't know what to expect, and it was amazing. The fans were just amazing.
We're going to show your offensive lineup here. Start with Sage and Mac. You started 16 seniors in this game. Why'd you do that?
It was all about those guys, Johnny. And I found this out through all these years and all these decades in college football. You go as your senior class goes, and this senior class was not to be denied. When you set goals and you set expectations, and then you try and get everyone around you to live up to those expectations and try and inspire them to live up to those expectations, you turn it over to your senior class on the really good teams. And that's what we were able to do. And that's exactly what this class of seniors did.
Always good to get that first down of the day. And there's the catch by Lane Danielson and moves the chains. And Ben, the offense was absolutely clicking on this night, especially this first half was crazy.
Yeah, it really was, and Pitt was coached, by Coach Rhodes, and it's the defensive side of the ball. And man, they threw everything and the kitchen sink at us, but guys kept making plays. And, this guy, to me, was the real key of our season. And we all did lots of great things, but the things that JJ did for our offense were outstanding. It made us different.
Here's the defensive lineup. And again, a lot of seniors in that lineup. And Reggie, defense did a lot of great things in this game, man.
Yeah, I think we just came out there and played our game. I don't think we really got trapped in the emotion of the game, how important it was. We just wanted to play as hard as we possibly could. And that's just this is one of those great times to do that.
Here's our guy, Doug Dunsmore.
Yeah, look at Doug. Doug was just all motor and heart. Like that's what our team consisted of, just motor and heart. Look at him. He's small, but he's fast, and he just wanted it.
Now, they did hit a big play, and they had a heck of a player in Antonio Bryant. Spent a lot of time in the NFL. So they got an early lead on you.
Yeah, he came to my wedding. He was a guest. I was like, didn't I beat you in a bowl game? Yeah, you did.
Hey, did you put the score of that bowl game on your wedding invitation?
I didn't. I had no idea he was coming. He was like a guest of a friend.
Oh, he was a sensational player, second rounder, as we remember.
Yeah.
JJ was so good in the open field, and this turf ended up being sort of slippery this night. But JJ's low center of gravity, and Ennis too. He had an ability to make people miss in the open field, and he was shifty, and he always finished runs. Man, he was such a good back for this football team all year.
Phenomenal player in person, and he's since passed now, and it breaks my heart. It almost makes me cry watching the man carry the good dude.
What did he run for 1,300 yards that year? He was
the Big 12 2 years in a row.
Big 12 rushing that year. So,
and you guys might remember this. One of the practices we had in the old recreation building when you had to be careful because of the cement pillars over on the side. Justin Eilers and Ennis Haywood got into a fight that one of those practices in the inside drill. It took us about 10 minutes to break it up. Those two guys were warriors now, war daddies, Justin Eilers and Ennis Haywood.
Yeah, they both played really well this game. This play, by the way, we played Kansas the year before. We lost down at Kansas last game of the year, and the backside post came open. I hit Reggie Moore for a touchdown. And in this game, the safety was just as tight, and that'd be an exact same play to obviously always consistent Chris Anthony there.
Was that Randy?
That was Jordan Karstens with the pressure.
Jordan. Great play.
Reggie was being held. Reggie was being held.
Chris Anthony and Jordan Carson's, a couple more walk-ons that ended up being two of the best ever pulled on uniforms at Iowa State. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Fact.
Sage, this slant was there all night, and Lane catches this one.
Yeah, they would probably call that a second window throw. I believe
That's a nice release, man.
I believe I audibled, and they went to the cover two, which is the worst play for that thing, and I sort of let them run around the linebacker, and of course had great protection by Brunzi and the crew.
Yeah.
Showing off the wheels now.
We like how mobile you are.
Yeah, I was decent at running straight, not really side to side. More of a straight, 400 runner, not a 100.
Pre-helicopter days.
Yeah. My cousins must have been there.
Sage. The second quarter here.
Wow, that's the first time I ever saw that one. That's cool, right? Sage is the rage. Never saw that one.
Rhodes goes with an all-out blitz, which Brunzi will tell you they did about 5 all-out blitzes this game. Danielson got inside on the cover 0. That was a great slant catch by him.
Who do you go to here? Joe Woodley.
Yeah.
Coach Wood.
Touchdown, Joey.
This is where I mentioned to Coach Loney right before we handed the ball off. We're blowing their ass off the line of scrimmage. Hand it off. Hand it off. Hand it off. Get it to Joey.
You should have been on Pete Carroll's staff with Bev a couple years ago.
Yeah, no kidding.
Great start, though. Tremendous job by the offensive line, and it's always fun to see Joey Woodley score a touchdown, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
You mentioned Justin Eilers. He's good on special teams here.
Yeah, look at Just. Great play.
All night, just tremendous job by the special teams, and we all know the importance of that, but it was just big play after big play to find a way to win this game.
Now your offense has the ball back, and you're moving it again.
We ran this play over and over and over, really at the end of the season, but definitely leading up to this bowl game, and we probably ran it 7 times this bowl game and probably had 6 or 7 completions.
Hey, we got to get our guy Mike Banks in there.
Man, the manimal.
Yeah.
Mike's the toughest people. There's tough people, and then there's Mike. And, Mac, you had a lot more time with him after we were done in this game. What a great career. Just a ferocious competitor.
Well, we had to go rob and steal from big town Iowa, Ogden, Iowa, to go steal Mike Banks. We wouldn't have traded him for any tight end in the country, as you said, Brunzi.
Gosh, I'm watching my drop, and all I want to do is I should have done this and change my technique,
Yeah. How about this one, Sage?
That thing doesn't happen. Yeah, that turf was slick that night, and obviously got my feet out from underneath me.
You missed an assignment there, Sage.
Little Lamar Action Jackson going on right there.
Look at that Steve Spurrier style, but the high ball, on my shoulder.
Just the way we drew it up, Sage. Just the way we drew it up.
It's from all the camps I went to as a kid from Macocata, Iowa, which would be 0.
Another big football factory. And now Ennis taking it home.
Look at Lozo in there knocking people around. Renzo White, just a fabulous player at that right guard spot. He had another good season the year after, too, when we went down. And Mac, you won your second bowl game at Iowa State, even though I never gave you credit for it.
This is one of the real differences you find in college football is what happens at the line of scrimmage, obviously. And the offensive and defensive lines did so many great things all through the season, and especially in this game to win the bowl game.
Yeah, I think the first half, we really controlled the line of scrimmage on offense and defense.
Yeah.
I think we came out and punched them in the mouth. And physically punched them in the mouth. They wasn't ready for that. They had to adjust in the second half.
That was one of the great defensive lines in the history of Iowa State football, Reggie. All you guys, just tremendous job being mentored and coached by Mike Nellie Nelson. God bless him, too, that's gone now.
Was there something like 5, 6, 7 guys who at least got into an NFL camp on that defensive line over their career? I mean, if you go back to Karstens and the younger guys.
Great bunch. This is before JMO went down and didn't know what state he was in after he got hit and knocked out of the game.
We'll show that. Chris Anthony had a big game.
Yeah, he did. CA, had a really good career in the Arena League, too.
Yeah, played for long. Now he's a doctor.
He's a doctor.
Oh, is he? Look at that.
Wow. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Oh, it's amazing the guys that what they've done after this game, after their careers are done at Iowa State, the success stories. I mean, talking to a couple guys on this thing who have done great things, life after football. So it's amazing, I think, what this team did for guys after they were done playing.
You see those things, Sage, and you make a great point, but you see those things as we put this whole team together and this program together. But you had character, you had work ethic, you had loyalty, you had pride, you had mental toughness, you had resolve, and next thing you know, a lot of success after football. Great job there. I think Doug Dinsmore blocked that one, didn't he, Johnny?
I think it was Matt Ward that got a finger. Yeah, I think so. Well, that's what they said on TV anyway, but they could have been wrong. So we get to halftime, and we're up 27-7, doing great. And then, guys, this opened the second half with a play from Derek Walker. He came back, got his degree here a couple springs ago. That was awesome to see.
D-Walk, Reggie. How about that? D-Walk.
Yeah. Just penetration and just, when you get in the backfield that fast, it ruins the offense. I mean, the kid doesn't know what to do with the ball. He bounces outside. There's nothing but – I think we're in cover 2, so there's, the corner right there. He can't do anything about it but go down.
Guy comes in as a quarterback, and ends up playing D-end, outside linebacker. I mean,
there are a couple guys on the team. Stevie Johnson, who was a basketball player. Like we had guys switch positions, learn new positions. Just we needed athletes, and Derek was a phenomenal athlete.
Yeah. What's funny about Stevie Johnson is during the draft they called him for free agency. He wasn't around the phone. he was playing basketball.
He's been playing basketball. Heard the same story, Reggie. Heard the same story.
Yeah, like he could have got a job and it might have turned into something, but he missed it.
17 years, was it 15, 16, 17 years overseas he played or something?
Yeah, he did in Spain.
Yeah,
he's been all over. So very talented person.
We talked about the characteristics of the team, but I think the thing that I took away from my time around you and Iowa State football was that great leadership, in spite of all odds. We never knew. Ouch, there it was. God.
Look out.
That was a JJ hit.
Yeah.
Ooh, wow.
He stayed in for another play.
He stayed in for a play.
Yeah.
And then they realized that he couldn't play anymore. So, he comes out of the game and Jamal Montgomery stepped up with a couple big catches. In this game, Craig Campbell making a play earlier. He had a really good, six-man receiving core that if one guy wasn't getting it done or got hurt or something, other guys stepped it up.
Another great play by Justin.
Yeah.
Justin Miller's James Reed. Look at him. Great job. Big play, tackle for loss.
We told
we were
you,
learning
Brian.
how to win. We were learning how to trust, you know, and showing up every day to go to work and get better all the time. Coach, you were the one that made all this happen. And so we just, I think all of us, the blessings of our lives are, you know, we owe that to you. And I know every single guy on that roster feels the same way. So just want to say that.
Thanks, Bruns. It goes all the way back to just building this whole thing, and you guys believing and buying in, and then you seniors. It's easy to be average. It's hard to be elite. It's just the way it is. And elite teams build winning habits, and their senior classes take over a program and say, "This is our time. We're going to find a way. Let's be special. Let's be elite." Look at Reggie here again, man.
Big time plays.
You know what's coming now, don't you?
With the double.
Oh yeah.
Collapse the pocket.
First punt return of his career.
I got to tell you a quick story on this one now. J.J. Moses is our number 1 return guy. Out. Guess who our number 2 return guy is? Adam Runk. Guess who our number 3 one is? Jermaine Billups. Jermaine's our number 3 guy as a true freshman. I kept telling Mike Woodley, just make sure he feels the ball. Woody was in charge of the return guys. Just make sure he feels the ball, because he struggled a little bit with that in practice. And I was yelling at him, come on, baby, you can just feel the ball, make sure you take care of the ball. Make sure you take care of the ball. And he's catching it and running. I'm going, take it to the house. Take it to the house. What an unbelievable play. 72 yards on the punt return. But you look at an unbelievable wall and the great job these guys did blocking, and Jermaine did the rest.
That was a big play. You know, momentum had really shifted in the game. When Jay went out, we weren't quite as dynamic. We didn't have that backside threat to the run game with all the sweep action and stuff that we like to do. And they really kind of clamped down on us. And this play right here broke the game back open again.
This play took so much stress and anxiety out of my body at that moment, because they come back, and when you're a quarterback and the other team's coming back, it's super, because everyone wants to jump a route, then everyone wants to make a play defensively. It's not the greatest place to be, up by 3 points, and so that touchdown was like, oh, thank you, Jermaine, for that.
There we go.
Return.
Reggie's just terrorizing guys, by the way.
Just killing them.
I stayed in the backfield a lot this whole game. I didn't make a whole lot of plays, but I really got into a good groove. And, I was just having my way with him. He just wasn't that fast. He wasn't that athletic. So just a little bit of a stutter step, he would completely jump inside. And I just abused him on the outside.
Yes, you did, Reg. Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you led the team in tackles, which, today defensive ends never lead their team in tackles. That shows what kind of season you had, man.
Just a little snatch, pull, and rip. Just, the things I could do with that body with this man now. Oh, if I only knew.
No regrets, Reggie. Phenomenal career, man. Phenomenal career.
There's Stevie Johnson.
There's Stevie.
Basketball player.
Look at him.
That was a unique story and a cool story, man. That was something else.
Well, he used to lift weights with us in the summertime, and it was like, you're as strong as a lot of our guys. He wasn't Paul Shirley over there, a great old basketball player. So.
He was my roommate, and I've been recruiting him to play football for like 2 years, and he finally
got it. Reggie
said, all right, I'll do it. I'm like, man, you're a big linebacker, maybe a DN. You should try this.
That guy was good.
He was a third draft pick, and probably had about a 6-year career.
So they're right back within 5 here, and there's still plenty of time on the clock. Now, you guys could go conservative here. You don't. You've been moving the ball through the air all night.
It's the trust factor in the guy taking the snap, and it's the trust factor in the offensive line and the guys that will execute. Johnny, period, end of story. That's what it is.
And that was our killer. Coach had a killer mentality. We weren't coming here just to try to survive. We were coming here to win a game. We were coming here to make history.
Absolutely.
And, that's what the season was all about. Like, we were at the break. Yeah. We all believed that we can win, so we did.
Yeah.
Now, this drive did stall out, but hey, one of the unsung heroes on this team is our guy Carl Gomez, and he hits a good punt right here, and Densmore is going to get it down.
Carl Gomez really changed this season in a lot of ways. We were struggling kicking consistently, and Mac, you tell the story about Carl. He came in your office, right?
Yeah, he came in and said, I can do, I can do this, I can do that, I can do that. And just the confidence that he had. And I kind of got sick of watching him miss kicks. And if you remember out of Colorado and the snow, and here's a guy from Miami, Florida, of all places, broken that football, and he's putting it between the uprights, and we're in the middle of a blizzard out in Boulder, Colorado. And you talk about a guy with some confidence, exuded confidence, and that lifted our whole football team, as Brunsey was talking about.
Guys are getting pressure on
Greatest of all time, but they got over the upright.
Yeah. Phenomenal. Just great job again, collapsing the pocket. You just love seeing it. This is truly one of the great defensive lines in the history of Iowa State football, and they did it every week of the season.
Playing to win on that next possession, too. You go to Craig Campbell, and it's going to set up our guy Gomez for the field goal. Here we go. Get a little breathing room.
Money. That would have been good for
Yep.
Lefty. Put it between
we're
the uprights.
Oklahoma State, and our other kicker misses the first kick, and you're like, I'm done with this. And Gomez goes out there. Our holder had never even held for a left-footed kicker before. Yeah. He's holding the wrong way, but whatever. He just started figuring it out. And Gomez goes 5 for 5, 6 for 6, and some clutch wins at the end. I mean,
6 for 6, Paige.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I think probably
Unbelievable.
one of the great, kicker punter stories probably in Iowa State history.
Yeah. There's another big town guy that just made that big play, Ryan Harklaw from Humboldt, Iowa. We stole him out of Humboldt. What a great teammate he was for you, Reg.
Yeah, he was. Ryan was awesome. And, I mean, Ryan would just not give up. He would not give up. He would stay in there and work hard and just, a lot of heart. I mean, the whole D-line, we fed off of one another.
Yeah.
James Reed, Ryan. I mean, even Nigel. Nigel Thorpe was just oh, Nigel. You never thought he was going to make it, but he made plays. And it was just a special line, special guy.
We would go to practice and it would be a war, I mean, this was 20 years ago, right? So we'd get after it. And I think it made everybody better.
Yeah, with Cell Block, big Cell, Marcel.
Man, what a great game. What a great season Marcel Howard had as a junior this year playing left tackle.
He was just as physical. I was like, if you got to block us all long, you should be dominant.
See, people don't realize E was so good at those moves right there. Just a little hesitation, get low, and then he'd dart through and he'd finish the runs. That was a phenomenal run right there.
And a big run to allow you to take a knee. And Sage, we're going to, as these guys are scheming, Anthony Forrest is scheming and Justin Eilers on what they're going to do to Mac here, but we got to work on your ability to take a knee, Sage.
No. See, here's the deal. I remember, and Mac will say, or anyone will say, it was as you.
Hey, look at this guy.
We got to get the quarantine haircut in there first.
Who is that guy? Who is that guy?
That was COVID-1. He was in quarantine at that point.
But the whole thing with taking a knee was we were worried because as it broke down, if I just took a knee after every snap, there was going to be 7 or 8 seconds after it. So I had to sort of try to take my time. And I think on the last 2, I was basically I'm not going to,
Right, there's 1 second on the clock here, Sage. Look at this one.
Well, making sure.
It's all good, man. It's all good. You had a hell of a game.
John, get him.
No, you had a hell of a game. And look at the fans, man. All those people that came down there, Mac, rewarded with that great experience.
Unbelievable.
First one, baby. This is the first one. This is history.
Yeah.
It was 100 years the Iowa State fans had to wait for it. And
Mac didn't like that guy.
No, he didn't. He got the hell off me.
Yeah, I know who it is, but he wasn't supposed to be out there doing that right then. So, but nobody was going to ruin my day. Walt Harris, hell of a coach, great person, but somehow, some way, we had to finish that thing in the top 25 in America. One of the great all-time teams in the history of Iowa State football, and under the leadership of Matt Campbell, now they've carried on a tradition of winning and success and honor. But somebody had to give them hope. Somebody had to raise the expectations. Some team, some group of seniors had to say, you know what, let's do something that's never, ever been done. Now, they did win 9 games in 1906, Johnny, 1906. And I got to be honest with you, I don't know who the hell they were playing in 1906. But it sure wasn't the schedule that this team played in 2000. And even in the 3 losses, 2 of those 3 teams, not making excuses, but Nebraska won 11, finished in the top 10. Kansas State won 11, finished in the top 10. And Texas A&M had one of the top 10 defenses in America. So even the 3 setbacks we had were against really good football teams. But as I went through my whole career, I think 21 bowl games, a national championship, Big Ten, SEC championships, this group of seniors and this team in 2000 will always remain one of my all-time favorites. They were incredible. Their loyalty, their passion, their effort, the camaraderie that was built with that football team, and the never say die attitude. I don't give a damn who we play, when, where. We'll fight you to the end of the day. And it was led by these seniors, and especially by these 3 guys that are on the broadcast with us tonight.
And I want each of you 3 guys to kind of summarize your thoughts. And I know that all 3 of you stay very connected to Iowa State football, too, to this day. And the old once a Cyclone, always a Cyclone definitely holds true for all 3 of you guys, too.
Yeah.
So go ahead, take your time, each of you.
You know, I can't, like, I'm having trouble finding words. It was an honor to be part of, and you know, just watching those clips and thinking about Ben Bodette and Andy Stenzer and you know, that group that you know, I just played with a heck of a bunch of really good guys, and just love those moments. And you know, when you get done with all this stuff, people ask you all the time, do you miss the game? There's so few times where I genuinely miss the game, but what I miss is this. I miss this time with teammates and you know, doing something special, believing in a vision, and going after it, and the time in the weight room, and Matt McGettigan and you know, Roof and all the guys that helped us do that work that it took, when Matt put the game plan in play for us to understand how hard we had to go after this thing. And just an honor to be part of it.
I'll go next. It was amazing. It was one of the best memories I've ever had playing football. You know, I went on to play in the NFL and, you know, did some really wonderful things with some great people. But, you know, it started right there in Iowa State. And I want to thank Coach Mack for even giving me a knucklehead. And I say this loosely. I was a complete knucklehead in college. I didn't know any better. And, you know, I was an inner city kid. And I had to really blossom out of that mentality of, you know, it's let's do it my way or the highway. And Iowa State helped me so much. And it shaped me into a better human being. You know, football has always been something that I have had in my life when I played, but this coaching staff, my teammates, my D-line, 2000 has shaped me into a better human being and allowed me to get out of what I always knew growing up and to experience something new. And I'm blessed. I wouldn't give it up for the world. I could have went to a lot of different places, and I am so thankful that I ended up being a Cyclone, because my friendships, my coaches, and everything else, it all resonated. It all started right there in Iowa State. I wouldn't give it up for the world. And we made history. We're number one. We were the first to do it. And I could have went somewhere and, you know, won a championship, but it wouldn't have been the first time that school has done it. It's something about this that you can't take away from me, and I will hold on to it for the rest of my life. And I'm truly blessed, and I'm thankful.
Sage, that was really well said, Reg. Thank you. Sage, go ahead.
You know, when I was a junior in high school, I remember getting this letter from Iowa State, somewhere probably early second semester, inviting me to a basketball game with a bunch of other kids. And, you know, Dan McCarney had basically just gotten the job and starting from scratch, didn't win a football game that year. I got one scholarship offer. Coach McCarney saw that I was a multi-sport athlete from a small town that, you know, would compete with you, and he was pretty good at basketball. He was pretty good at baseball, but, you know, hadn't been ever taught anything in football. And I got on campus. I didn't know anything. And I started working with these other guys who were a lot of guys just like me from other small towns or smaller towns, and all over, guys from Miami, and Mac put this team together, and me going to Iowa State and the years it took to get where we need to get to and how it turned out, it's the best decision I ever made in my life. It probably has had more impact on me than any other single decision, is for Mac to offer me a scholarship and for me to take it. And at that time, I was an Eastern Iowa kid. Everything was Hawkeyes. And, I was excited to play Power 5 sports. Never knew it was going to be. And I went with this decision. And I think this game and this team, this season, this game, probably nobody benefited more from the experience from the team that Mac put together than me. I probably got the most, I got to have that long career. I was a 52% passer with 8 touchdowns my senior year. All right. I wasn't a guy who was like, oh yeah, he's going to be in the NFL for a pretty long time. But I had this team that won, and there was something special about this team. I think people saw it in the country. Coach Mac sold it to us. It took a long time, but we knew it was going to take a long time. And that team won with grit. It won with togetherness. We refused to lose. We refused to not let the game slip out of our hands. And that was the difference between the 4-7 season our junior year to that 9-3 season. We won those close games. We did not blink. And I think it was all because of what Mac did and how we put that football team together, and the message that he sold us day in and day out, despite the fact that we were getting our tails kicked in those early years. And he sold us on it, and we were committed to it. And again, I'm so thankful, Mac, for what you did for me and for all these guys, and that special year. It was really one of the great experiences of my life.
Yeah, Mac, it has to make it that much sweeter to do it with guys like this. I mean, that have gone through the lows, and then to experience that high together, the highest of highs, winning 9 games in the first bowl game that Iowa State had ever won. To do it with that group of guys has to make it even more special.
Even more special, Johnny. And before we end it, I just want to thank you for all you've done. I got the honor of working with Pete Taylor and Johnny Walters through all those years at Iowa State. And I got 45 years in Division I football, and it gives you perspective and comparisons. And I've never been around 2 of them that I enjoyed more, appreciated more, respected more than you and Pete. And thank God for Iowa State. You're still there in a major role and doing the job that you did. But the respect, the things you can tell is the respect and the love that you have for each other, that we had for each other in that 2000 team. It never ends. The memories never fade. They just don't. That's always there. It'll always be there because they accomplished something that it'll always be there in history forever. I remember talking to these guys, and I won't go on, but just that someday you'll be able to come back to Iowa State. If we can win this football game and finish this thing right and go out in style and get something these seniors so much deserve and so much they've earned, you'll be able to come back to Iowa State someday with your kids and your grandkids and talk about who did something that never been done in 100 years, and they did it, and they finished it, and they accomplished it. So many of these guys, we got former players, guys, teammates with these guys they're not any longer with us. Mike Nelson, my defensive line coach, Coach Reggie, and did such a phenomenal job. One of my real special guys that I spent 14 years with is gone now. But we all remember and we'll never forget. Those memories and those times and those experiences will be cherished forever. But the thing that I found out, and you can just sense it and you can hear it and you can feel it when you listen to these guys and how special it was. And these guys had incredible careers at Iowa State, and many of them went on, had great careers. Sage and Reggie had these long careers in the NFL, the best of the best, the highest of the highest in all of football. But you go right back to the love and the tremendous feelings that you have and the emotions that you have for Iowa State and what we accomplished together and the loyalty that these guys had. We built it together one day at a time. All these coaches that were by my side, that were by these coaches, I couldn't have surrounded myself with better guys. But that was loyalty that was uncommon. It was unconditional. It was incredible. And it's here all these years later that we sit here and we experience and we watch and we live and we laugh and we talk about this game that happened now 20 years ago. 2 decades have passed. You guys will never be forgotten. They'll always be remembered. They were special. This senior class will always be special. I love them. I respect them. And thank God that I got the opportunity to be the head coach on this football team in 2000 and for many, many years there at Iowa State. Love you guys.
Thank you,
too, Coach.
We want to thank Kingland Systems for making this possible. It's been awesome to have you guys back. I can't tell you how much I've enjoyed just hearing you guys tell the stories about that team and that season. And it really was special. I was down there, fortunate to be there and see it. And I'll never forget it. I know a lot of Cyclone fans feel the same way. So thanks, guys, for sharing your memories tonight. It's been a blast.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Night, guys. Go Cyclones. Love you.
Bye,
Thanks for having us. If we do this again, let's watch the Iowa game where we kick their tails and then Kinnick our senior year.
Yeah.
What do you guys do next
In
week?
17 years or something like that. Let's watch that one.
Next week at the same time.
All right.
All right. All right. Thanks, guys.